Thank you.
Muy buenas a todos, bienvenidos a una nueva entrevista en Spain Eurovision Info. Hoy estamos con el grupo de Busker, uno de los posibles participantes de Malta Eurovision. Hi guys, thank you for accepting our interview and welcome to Spain Eurovision Info.
Thank you for the invitation. It's an actually honor, actually.
Yeah. Hi guys, the pleasure is ours to have you here with us today. So as we know, you are one of the 40 contestants for MESC 2023 to choose the Maltese representative for Eurovision 2023 that will happen here in the UK in Liverpool. So tell us a little bit more about you as a group and when did you form and when was the band formed and the name, where it comes from, because it sounds it's a very unique name, so it's not like just you, like your name. So yeah, if you can tell us a little bit more, a little bit introduction about you.
So per se, so I'm the baby of the band. So the band is called the Busker. John was one of the founders of the band. The band had a singer before me. But 2 years ago, he decided to take a different direction with his music. And that's when I put my name in the hat and decided to join the band. I was working closely with another member that was with the Busker as well. So it was a very smooth transition into me becoming the vocalist of this band. The band has been going on for around 8 or 9 years.
8 years.
8 years. But I've only been in it for the past 3 years, where we decided to take a bit of a bold moves. One of them is participating in Malta Eurovision Song Contest. This year we actually went in with the song Dance. That's our entry for this year.
So yeah, now talking more about like your entry for Malta Eurovision Song Contest. How do you feel when you got chosen? How was the process of selecting a song for this competition? And what are your expectations both from MESC and in general Eurovision?
So
I think the general feedback from the audience was quite good.
Unexpected in a way.
When we received the news, all of us were at work, and we suddenly saw this post on Facebook. So I was scrolling on Facebook, and suddenly I saw this post coming from MESC, and obviously the first reaction was like, "Where's our name? Where's our name?" Funny enough, at first I did not see our name, and I was like, "Oh, okay." But then I looked into it again, and then I saw, okay, the Busker dance our own party, and I was like, okay, good. I went straight to, we have a group chat, us three and our the co-producer of the song, Matthew James, and sort of I shared the news and like, listen guys, we made it through the quarterfinals, and it was this was the first time that we entered the competition, so for us it was super totally new. And as soon as we saw our name there, as in it was quite
yeah, for sure,
satisfying,
because we've been having this conversation for the past year if we should enter for Eurovision or not. And last year we met together and watched the Malta Eurovision Song Contest together at Sean's house, and it just built the fire of like we should put in an entry and see what happens, you know. I mean, that's I think everyone's story. So we started compiling ideas, us being writers and producers. We wanted to write our own song, and we got a lot of offers from other different writers. However, we always try to write our own music, and that's what we did. We managed to write the song in around 2 months, I think 2 months in a way, because there was it was at a demo stage before we started working together as a band. I think I missed another question that you asked.
Yeah, your song is called Dance and Our Own Party. From listening, it's a very feel good at me happy song. can you tell about what the song means to you?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things about it, I mean, the storyline is about being at a party and not feeling yourself. I think one of the biggest things that I started feeling and that I've come to realize that a lot of people are feeling after COVID is the social anxiety, that we're at a place where it used to be familiar, but now it doesn't feel as familiar, I think. And being at a party where we used to be enjoying ourselves, it feels like it's not there anymore. It's like it's not what we enjoy anymore. So it's like going at a party, realizing you're not enjoying it, and taking the decision to comfort yourself and leaving with people you feel comfortable with. And going and having your own small party where you already feel comfortable. So that is what it represents in this storyline. What we wanted to accomplish with it as well is some kind of nostalgia from artists who inspire us. There's a reference to Queen, Radio Gaga, and the lyrics. So at a point, the lyrics go, "Gaga Radio, is this a song you know?" So that we go home and play the songs that we're comfortable with and that we enjoy. And I think that's a recurring theme every time we're thinking about staging and performance. We're trying to create the story and represent a lot of great artists and great music that preceded our generations.
Yeah. In general, how are you are musical influence, and how have this influenced your style of music?
Can you repeat the first question,
The
please?
influence of our music.
Yeah, yeah.
Your influence music, your influence style for
what are your influences?
your music.
All of us have different styles. I think John and I overlap a bit. Me and Sean overlap a bit. Personally, I've come from a singer-songwriter background, so it used to be just me and my guitar. But blending into the Busker, I think we're all agreeing that soul and a bit of, I don't know what to call it, funk pop is what we're looking at as a style.
Great.
Nice.
So, can you tell us a bit more about the songwriting process of the song that you submitted and what inspired you to write this specific song? You said that it was more about like the situation that the COVID left on the people's mindset, more or less. But yeah, how was the songwriting process?
For us, the songwriting process, at first I started the song on my own at home. I had 2 days which I had a lot of free time, and I was enjoying placing myself into the writer's zone, basically, without lyrics or melody. Actually, I started doing the song for a production for a different melody and a different lyrics, different everything. But then I realized that the lyrics were not matching with the production. So then I took away the lyrics, I took away the melody, and just had a song. There was the saxophone in it, there was the drums and a few guitar parts, which are in the final mix now. But then when we were talking about Eurovision, I put it in with the other demos, and we all of a sudden were like, okay, we have to work on this one. And the producer that co-produced the song agreed, and you can see it on his face. He's going through the demos one by one, not excited. All of a sudden, as soon as he heard this one, he was like, okay, we have something here. And for us, that bit of smile and excitement is everything. Especially trying to put yourself on a platform like Eurovision. And then we just spent, I think, a whole month meeting twice and sometimes 3 times a week to finish it up. We got a fun fact about it is that even though we wrote the bass, some bass parts are from Stefan, who's another participant in the Malta Eurovision Song Contest. So Stefan Schwierep,
What do you know?
he's
Yeah.
with What Do You Know? That's his entry.
What do you want?
What do you want? What do you want? That's his entry. And he played on the song as well.
Nice, interesting. So as we know, Malta MESC 2023 will happen. The final will happen on the 11th of February, but you will be performing very soon. I mean, it's recorded already, we know, but you will be taking part. They will be taking part in the second quarterfinal, which happens this Friday, the 20th of January, right?
Yes.
We don't know in which position you will your song will be aired or whatever, but yeah, now talking more about the live shows, which will be the semi-final, which is 9th of February, I think it is, and then the final on the 11th. What kind of performance are you working right now in for the people to see on the live shows? Because as we expect, like your song is quite upbeat, and you won't be able to do much now in the quarterfinals, as it's a very small and static staging.
Yeah.
The whole concept, as Dave was saying, without revealing too much, because obviously we want to leave a bit of a surprise for the night, but without revealing too much, we're tackling the semi-final and finals as a storytelling. So the performance itself, I think, is going to be quite in line with what the lyrics and what the theme of the whole song is. So I think that's what we're aiming for, sort of. So if you follow the lyrics now in the quarterfinal, you can try to imagine like what's going to happen in our performance during the semifinals. At the moment, we are hoping that we will pass for the semifinals. So obviously, we already started planning out the performance.
Yeah.
So we're full on. In fact, today we met
at 7 a.m. first thing in the morning with meetings.
Sean can tell you about his experience of waking up.
It wasn't very nice, guys.
You are not a morning person.
No, unfortunately, I spend very long with them as well in the evening, to late hours of the morning, so early hours of the morning. So then generally when you have to wake up at 7 as well, it's a bit
too much.
It's a bit tedious.
A bit tricky. Yeah. It is.
I think to go back to the performance, in Malta, we're the only entry as a band. All right. There's another duet, but we're the only one which are coming from a band. What do you say? Band background,
like with instruments, stuff like that. The other duo are two vocalists. In our case, we have saxophonists, drums, guitar. So,
but apart from that, when we were planning staging and what we want to have on stage, we started planning it like a music video. So the storytelling of what we're planning, is in itself the way we would tackle a music video. So that's, I think, what people should expect.
Okay, great. And now, if you were going to win MESC 2023 and go to Eurovision, first of all, do you feel the pressure and of representing Malta in such a big contest, and do you feel ready for such a big stage? And then would you keep the same performance for that big show, or would you like maybe change it and after people's feedback you will create a new performance or even song, because Malta can change the song after you win MESC? So what are your expectations, or you are not still thinking that ahead?
Expectations, we're always the type of people that we try to stay as humble as possible, as in we write a good song, we try our best to portray what we want to portray in a song, but with respect to expectations, try to keep it as low as possible. So then whatever happens, whatever comes our way is all a bonus and an extra source of enjoyment.
Yes and no, because the other part of it is that working hard, you need a lot of motivation to work hard, especially for something like Eurovision. You need tirelessly to work and think and constantly plan. So even though what Sean is saying is all true, we have to have this winning attitude, that's what I tell them. Like, come on, guys, winner attitude, let's go for it, because you need that sort of motivation.
You need to manifest it.
You have to, and it's not winning is a responsibility in itself. Going to represent your country, even though our country is so small, is a big responsibility because people are looking up to you. People chose you. They've put you in this position where they feel that you're representing what Malta's quality of music is. If we had to be given the opportunity to win and represent Malta, obviously we want to represent the songwriters of Malta and people who most of the time we don't see what they do publicly because they're too busy practicing. I don't know if it's the same. Our art is coming from a place of desire to create. A lot of people might appreciate the fact that we try as much as possible to be original. We try as much to just contribute with new music that we will write. If we had to win, I don't think it's our choice. It's in our hands to decide what song we would represent with. We would love to be represented with our music. So if we had to choose, we'll keep dance.
And having said that as well, for us it's super super important that we are true to ourselves. The music that we write, we are super super proud of it. And so I think when it comes to the staging of the Eurovision, we would love if we have the creative freedom, sort of our creative force, to make sure that what we are representing is us, and something that when we start looking back, we are proud of it. I think we keep that always in mind. As David said, it's an amount of pressure, obviously, because you're representing your country, but at the end of the day, you are also representing yourself. So whatever we do, we'll make sure that, listen, that's what we want to see on television at the end of the day.
Yeah. This year, you are amongst some strong contestants very famous in Malta, such as Brooke, Aidan, and Maxine, for example. How do you feel about the competition of this year at MESC in 2023?
I think when people heard that is going to happen in Liverpool, I think it added more value to the competition. Or it's just a coincidence that a lot of big names from Malta entered the competition again. I think it had something to do with the fact that it's going to be broadcasted and held in Liverpool. I believe that it has played a role. But the competition is big. As you said, you mentioned around 5 or 6 strong competitors. So that's already, it can go anywhere, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's the possibility, there's always the strength of the song that so far we haven't heard all of them, not even us. So this Friday we'll get to hear another 4 that we're keeping kind of eyes with, who we're going neck and neck with. But definitely it's very polarized. We have a lot of people who love certain artists in Malta, and the fan base is much bigger than ours, for sure.
Sort of, we are seeing ourselves as the underdogs.
Yes,
because
for
obviously,
sure.
as we said earlier, we're coming from the band artistry scene, sort of, where people are constantly releasing music, stuff like that. In this case, this is the first time that we step into a competitive industry.
Yes.
We did not participate in any other competitions before, so sort of we stepped in a new world of music. Even I think the followers, Eurovision fans, I think this is the first time that we're actually targeting them.
In Malta, there was an initial reaction which was great for us, as in nobody expected us to go in with a song for the Eurovision. So when that came out, it was a bit of an awe shock for some people. They didn't want to believe it, but the reaction though from the majority of the people and how receptive they were to our song, it was, for me, it was a really big surprise. As in, because we still have a lot of character which I would love in our own songs, you know, as per usual in that song. So it's a really good representation of who we are and what we do. So
for me, it was very overwhelming, honestly. I just, that week where the 30-second clips came out, I just wanted to hide from everyone. And thankfully, it was my week off, so I managed to hide as much as possible.
Because again, we're not used to that kind of attention from people around the world. And then suddenly we noticed how much fans follow this, because obviously your first reaction is that only Malta are going to hear the 30 seconds, but in this case, it's not true. So
I mean, I expected further on into the competition to have that kind of attention, not immediately on first appearance, you understand? Because I know how much of a fan base Eurovision is. I mean, I'm a fan myself. I never missed a Eurovision, so I usually just put reviews on my Insta stories about each song, but that's mostly it between kind of friends and people who follow my page, not the level of having people reviewing song by song and posting videos. I was overwhelmed.
That requires an amount of dedication as well.
And
appreciation, towards, which we are super grateful, because
exactly
our song, I believe we got quite good feedback from Eurovision listeners.
I wasn't a fan of how we looked. I think that was another thing that affected me personally, that being in the eye of the people all of a sudden got me a lot self-conscious a lot about my appearance.
No light mustard anymore, guys.
Yeah.
Light mustard dead.
Yeah, no mustard, no high-waisted pants, no.
I think the three of us got a different reaction. Like Sean was super excited, like, wow, guys, we look really great. We were like,
we were matching, guys. We were matching. It looked cool, you know. We looked the same, you know, but not the same. He had a zipper, you know. He had a button.
Just be natural, like for the live performance, just be natural and do your best, and that's it. Like, you know, that's in the end is that what wins. People, like, you know, wins over people, like being natural.
For sure. And our song is actually about being yourself, you know. So we just need to practice what we preach, you know.
Just believe in your message.
Yeah,
definitely. Do you watch Eurovision normally? If you're with your friend, and if you have any favorite acts from Malta or just in general?
I did not understand the first question. Sorry.
So the favorite act I understood.
If you have a favorite from Malta or just in general in other countries, not necessarily for Malta.
Following as a band, yes?
No, either.
No, if you follow Eurovision.
Yes. I mean, I think, like I said, we all follow different people individually.
Last year we watched it together, the Eurovision, so we do watch the Eurovision, yes, as most Maltese people do. We do watch the Eurovision.
From Eurovision, I personally had loved the winner from 2019, Netherlands, with Arcade. I can't remember the name of the
Duncan Lawrence.
Yes, that's the one, Duncan Lawrence.
Yeah.
I've watched it for, a long while. I remember 2015, there was Latvia with Love Injected.
Yeah,
really
good.
Aminata.
Myself personally, last year I had two of my favorite ever songs. I love Ukraine song. I love the rap. I love rap music. It's one of my influences for growing up in music. And I really think he did a good job with the rap and the song. Very nice. And also the
Fair from Iceland.
I love it. But last year's there was the gentleman.
Sam Ryder.
I love the guy from Iceland as well. That's another guy.
Iceland was this year before.
Exactly, that was the one before that. The COVID didn't happen.
Personally, I really love MESC, and the fact that a rock band won the Eurovision. I know it already happened with Lordi way back, but with MESC, it's something different with them. Sort of, you could see that they are ambitious, risk takers. There's a drive. Even the fact that after the Eurovision, they got all like touring America and winning awards. All of this was the first time for an Italian act. So for me, that's super inspiring.
To be fair, Il Volo did pretty well as well for Italians.
Yeah.
For Italians.
Yeah.
But
But not as winners as a band with that kind of act, no.
I mean, they have a sold out tour coming up. They are collaborating with guitar legends, you know, like they just released a song with Tom Morello. So for me, that's mind blowing, you know, coming from a Eurovision act from Italy. So I think, yes, that's super, super inspiring. So when you see an act like that, for me, that's something that inspires me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is the real deal.
And that's, I think, was one of the motivators for us as well as a band. You say, I can do that as well, you know, possibly on a smaller scale.
I believe if you have the drive for
Yeah.
it, you know, if you, it's in you.
Winner attitude.
Winner attitude,
Winner
yeah.
attitude.
And I think that's what differentiates MESC from other winners at the end of the day, because sort of they had the drive, like, listen, we want
create.
to go places and to create.
That's I think that will define it, is the the drive to create in art, not I mean, because there are different ways of art. There is art to replicate, art to absorb, but the motivation to create.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for your time and for the interview. It was some nice meeting you and getting to know more about you and your music and your journey to Eurovision. We wish you the best of luck for the semifinals and for the finals, hopefully. And yeah, if you have any message for our viewers of Spain Eurovision Info, that would be great. Thank you so much.
So as a message, definitely thanks a lot for your time. I know we speak a lot. That's because we're excited. Thanks a lot for following our journey. Hopefully you get to enjoy our music, not just for Eurovision, but possibly after that as well. Thanks a lot for having us and your time. Honestly, it's mind-blowing that we're even having this interview at this point. So like Sean said, whatever we get is a bonus, and this was one of them. Thanks a lot for it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.